Good evening, I'm Henry Goodwin, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Husker baseball kicked off their season today with a 4-1 win against Baylor down at the Shriners Children's College Showdown at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Dylan Carey led the Huskers at the plate, going 2 for 4 with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. Caden Brumbaugh went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored, while Garrett Anglem added a solo home run. The Huskers play 2 more games in Arlington, tomorrow against number 21 Texas Tech before playing Oklahoma on Sunday. In women's basketball news, last night history was made as Caitlin Clark broke the all-time NCAA women's basketball scoring record. Not only did she break the record, she broke it by scoring in the first 8 points for Iowa after only 3 minutes of regulation. She also finished the night with a career-high 49 points in the win over Michigan. In PGA Tour news, Tiger Woods withdrew from competition after experiencing issues with his back during play. Right now, the top 5 scorers in the tournament are Patrick Cantley at 12 under, Luke List, Jason Day, and Mackenzie Hughes are all tied for second at 8 under, and Corey Connors rounds out the top 5 at 7 under par. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now, get ready for 2 hours of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Goes off the bounce, goes behind your back, works foul line, Potts for 3, top of the key. You betcha! Natalie Potts, the Big Ten freshman of the week with a triple.
Getting a hand on it was Juwan Gary. Wilcher scoops it up now to Williams across the timeline. Williams to the trailing Wilcher, fumbled it, got it back. Drives to the baseline, 15-footer up. Got it! We got a tie ball game!
8 on the shot clock, Darian White, right wing, needs help. High lob underneath, Markowski. Gets a double team, kicks to the deep left corner. Moriarty with 2, with 1. Her 3-pointer, it's back rim, it goes in! You betcha! Kendall Moriarty with a triple.
Huge shot. The pump fake by Mast. Step back 3 on the way. Got it! Holy smokes! Holy cow! The Flying Dutchman with a big 3 to tie it at 65.
Shelley throws down low. Markowski kicks it out to Jazz, knocked away by Marshall. 7 to shoot, 6 to shoot. Shelley for 3. You betcha! Huskers take their first lead of the game with 30 seconds left. You betcha! Huskers take the lead over second-ranked Iowa.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Well, happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. I'm here solo in studio. Well, not solo. We've got Cole and Henry here. But Greg Sharpe, as you may have heard, on the airwaves today, the season opener for Husker baseball. So we're holding down the fort here in Lincoln. We will hear from Greg here coming up in just a few minutes. He's going to break down that season opening win for Husker baseball. But before we get to some big news of the day, Cole, we've got a bone to pick with you because you were scheduled to do Cole's Joke of the Week last night. You ended up taking off. We had some people asking where you were, what happened. And so just confirming, yeah. I said maybe you do it tonight, but maybe we'd let you have the night off. I don't know. What's your stance?
I understand. I've been getting letters. I'm trending on Twitter because of all this. I don't mean to get caught up in the drama. So it'll be
I mean, you were asking for some time off, so
I was.
So this can be your week off. You'll be back again maybe not next week.
Maybe the week after. We get pretty busy here on the radio network with live events, but soon enough, everybody. Soon enough.
So we will not have Cole's Joke of the Week tonight. I apologize. I said we'd have to wait and see. So he took the day off. We might give him some time off, but he'll be back again with Cole's Joke of the Week soon. Maybe you can train up an intern to fill in next time when you're out. All right, we're going to have Cole back on here in a little bit. We're going to do some winners and losers at the end of the show. But congratulations, big win today, season opening win for Will Bolt and company for Husker baseball, 4-1 win over Baylor. How about Brett Sears getting his first career start for the Huskers, when 5 1/3 and 3 hits, 1 earned run, and matching a career high with 7 strikeouts. And Dylan Carey, as you heard Henry talk about, just really, really big for the Huskers. We will break down much more of this win for the Huskers coming up with Greg and dive into all of that and look ahead too for the upcoming matchup tomorrow afternoon against Texas Tech. Tough first game in New Mexico for Nebraska softball. They got shut out 3-0 to New Mexico State. There you've got second game coming up. Cole, what would you say, about 5-10 minutes?
I think Nate Rohr signed off from the first game probably 15 minutes ago. They usually take 25 to 30 minute gaps. So, 10 minutes from now they should be back on.
So we might have some live listen-ins from Nate Rohr, but a tough one out there to get going in Las Cruces. Couldn't get the bats going, shut out, but no Billy Andrews in the lineup. We heard Nate talking that she had suffered a concussion during practice earlier this week, so she's being held out due to concussion protocol, it sounds like. Not sure when we'll see her, but maybe we'll have more news with her, but that's a big hit for the lineup and getting production at the plate. So, but some big opportunities. We'll see if they can bounce back here coming up in just a few minutes. Another cool story of the day. It happened during the baseball game, but if you're on social media, you probably saw this tweet. But Ed Foley, the special teams coordinator for Nebraska football, put out a tweet that it said 1, 2, 3, and it was a photo, and it was heat number 3 out there at the track and field and inside the Devaney Center. They had the Nebraska tune-up, and he put 1, 2, 3, and it was 1 was Jalen Lloyd, 2 was Jeremiah Charles, 3 was Bryce Turner. So they went 1, 2, 3 in their heat. How cool is that? Jalen Lloyd ran a 6 seconds, 6.87. Jeremiah Charles 6.95 and Bryce Turner just over 7 seconds, 7.02. But Jalen Lloyd, that was his season debut for Nebraska track and field, and he finishes 3rd. So that was really cool to see. And we're going to talk a little bit more with Greg coming up here in just a few minutes. But really neat to see all the two-sport Huskers here in the spring for the football team with Nash Hutmaker, and Husker Wrestling's got a big matchup coming up on Sunday at Penn State. But then those track guys, I ran into Jalen Lloyd last week, and he said that he's loving being back out on the track. So I think big things are to come. I know that the track and field coaches were so excited when they signed, when it was kind of a dual recruiting efforts with those guys, and to get them on the track. I know they were really, really big time recruits for those track guys too. So they're going to continue to make noise on the track and field. They track and field next up for them next weekend, the 23rd and 24th, is the Big Ten Indoor Track and Field Championships. Crazy to think that it's already time for the Big Ten Championships, but that will be next weekend, the 23rd and 24th in Geneva, Ohio. So we will be watching closely for that. I just thought that was pretty cool to go 1, 2, 3 there in that heat. And there's I think some really exciting things are to come for those guys and the track. All right, let's get to our first break here on Sports Nightly, because we have got a ton to get to here over the next couple of hours. We're going to hear from Greg Sharpe, of course, coming up. And then here in just a little bit in hour number 1, we're going to check out our latest Husker Women's Wednesday with Gena Jorgenson of Nebraska Swim and Dive. She is a star in the pool for the Huskers. They've also got postseason ahead here shortly. And then in hour number 2, a really, really fun conversation with Josiah and Bekka Allick. That was a treat. I sat down with them for a long time and actually was sitting here with Josiah while we were waiting for Bekka. The Big Ten Network is doing a really cool feature. Actually, there's going to be a couple of different features coming out on them. There's going to be a Place episode that is produced in-house by the Corn Crib people, the digital production crew here in-house at Nebraska. And then also the Big Ten Network is following them for an episode of The Journey, which I think they do a fantastic job with those feature stories. So that will be coming up here soon, too. But they were following them around, and they were actually in a lot of the shots in here in studio, and we're getting some B-roll of those guys to use during that feature. So I've heard it's going to be really, really, really something. Can't wait to see it. But mine was more on the lighthearted side, so we'll give you a little clip of that coming up here in hour number 2. We're also going to preview the big basketball matchups coming up this weekend for Nebraska men's and women's basketball with Matt Coatney and Kent Pavelka. So all of that coming up. We're going to get to our first break here a little early, so we have plenty of time for all of that. But if you want to be a part of the show, 402-413-2400 is that number number 2, text or call. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Greg Sharpe up next here on Sports Nightly.
Woodhouse Lincoln wants to redefine your driving experience with our stunning lineup of Lincoln vehicles. Lease a 2023 Lincoln Nautilus for $499 a month for 39 months, 10,500 miles per year. Come visit us in store off 114th and Giles Road or online anytime at woodhouselincoln.com. With approved credit, security deposit waived, $1,500 down payment plus first payment, and $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 2/29/2024. See dealer for details.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowes.com for details.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There's no community like a Cenex community. And that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
I just remember leaving that day feeling absolutely exhausted. I was sick and tired of living that double life.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
The anxiety, the depression is real. You start thinking about the money, where that could have went to. It's never enough. I could win $10 million today, and I'd go back and try to win 20 tomorrow.
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. I am in our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center in Lincoln, Nebraska. Greg Sharpe is down in Arlington, calling game one, win one today for Husker baseball. How about that? That's a great start for Will Bolton Company.
Yeah, it sure was. It was a really high-quality game, which you're not quite sure what you're going to see first game or first week of a season, but just one error, and it was a tough one on Dylan Carey, and a rocket hit up the middle that went off his glove. But really good pitching on both sides, and I think generally, Jessica, the pitchers will be a little bit ahead of the hitters early in the season until the batters get their timing down a little bit more. But, you know, Nebraska had to dig to get this one in the win column, and I think you can learn a lot from that, maybe more than a blowout win. So good start, and I said this at the end of the call. Last year, they went 0-3-1 in the opening weekend, so they didn't taste victory until the second weekend. To get one under your belt right away is a nice start.
How about Brett Sears getting the call today to start here in game one, and he did everything that they could have asked and more, right?
Wow, he was great. And I think you and I talked about it the other night. You know, I think the biggest question mark with his team might be starting pitching. I think they've got a lot of pitchers and good ones, but could they get quality starts? Well, they got it from Brett today. He was a starter at Western Illinois before coming to Lincoln, and then last year they just didn't put him in a spot to start. He was used out of a bullpen, and I don't think that was his cup of tea. And then for the summer, he went up north to the Northwoods League, and he was just fantastic as a starter. And I think the coach is like, oh, maybe we kind of messed that up. And so he was given the chance today, and he was great, tied a career high in strikeouts with 7, took the game into the 6th inning, and was just so good. And I'm sure that will build his confidence moving forward. But great start for him. And then everybody that came in, Tucker Timmerman, the freshman from Beatrice, was a little shaky, but was better the second inning than he was the first. And Kyle Perry, who's pitching in his 20th season in Nebraska, got through the 8th. And then Casey Dice, another newcomer to this team, was fantastic in the 9th inning. So I think Rob Childers, who you and I mentioned the other night, might be the best pitching coach in the country. He's already getting his imprint on this team to only allow 1 run in your opener. Really good start.
I know it's only game one, but I was listening to you guys some, and then I was also listening to the TV broadcast some too, and both were commenting about how fast the Nebraska pitchers were working. Is that something we can maybe expect to see out of this pitching staff this season?
Yeah, that's a Rob Childers staple too. He wants tempo. He wants guys to get it and go. It helps your defense. And I thought that Brett was to the point that he might have been going too fast. Emmett Olson did some of that a year ago. You're like, Emmett, slow down just a tick, particularly when you're not locating the ball in the zone. And sometimes maybe you do need to take an extra second. But I think Rob loves his pitchers working with tempo, getting the ball and going. I know it helps guys behind him that if defense, they love pitchers that work quickly because you're not sitting there kicking at the dirt and counting grass stripes on your knees or whatever. You're ready to jump into action. So I think that's certainly an influence of Rob. We also, something different today, Jessica. Rob's going to make the pitching changes. It's always been something Will Bolt has gone out to make the change, but today when there was an in-inning change, it was Rob Childers going to the mound to make the change.
Certainly, you got to think Coach Bolt trusts him, right, to do that and manage all of that with his experience and knowing kind of how to talk to his pitchers as well.
No question. I think Will knows that Rob's the guru with pitching, and so let him do that. And it's Rob's staff. I mean, it's a little bit like in football. Rob's the defensive coordinator, so you kind of let those guys make the calls, but have to really like the effort with that group today. And nobody got really stressed too much today. A couple of these guys couldn't come back and pitch maybe a little bit more even the rest of the weekend.
How about Dylan Carey? How big was he today?
Huge. And 2 weeks ago when this team was outside for one of the first days when they finally got some good weather in Lincoln, he didn't bat because he had an oblique pull. An oblique is in your kind of rib cage area. That's a tough injury for ball players because you certainly use your rib cage area when you swing or when you throw. And so they didn't let him bat for a while. He's only started batting about a week or 10 days ago, and he had 2 doubles today. We know he's going to play a great shortstop, and he's so good defensively. But I think a lot of scouts were in attendance today to look at Dylan Carey. He's certainly got pro-type potential behind him, and those 2 doubles that he got were huge for Nebraska. And you need your guys to be guys. You need your best players to make big plays and get your big at-bats in moments, and Dylan's certainly one of those for this team, and those 2 were huge swings for him today.
And Garrett Anglem, all he does is go 1 for 1 with a home run.
Yeah, you're sitting on the bench all day, and then all of a sudden you get put in there to be defense. He made a nice running catch near the foul pole to end the bottom of the 8th, and then put a great swing on it and just got it out of the ballpark here for a home run and a big insurance run. And my guess is you'll see GA in the lineup tomorrow. They got a lot of depth out there in that outfield. They're going to have to rotate some guys around. He's going to play a lot. We certainly know Garrett is a big-time player with a lot of great moments in his Husker career, and you can add that one to it today here in this beautiful ballpark in Arlington.
Yeah, and I guess it just didn't dawn on me, but they interviewed Dylan after the game, and they said, hey, you guys got the first win here on Globe Life Field since the Rangers won the World Series. I just didn't really put that together, but that's pretty crazy.
They got all the confetti removed. You know, they dropped confetti when the Rangers won the World Series, what was that, first week in November, and one of the Rangers employees came in to check on us before the broadcast, and I go, have you guys come down? He goes, oh, no. He goes, we're still on a high from winning the World Series. That's the first one in this franchise's history. And, you know, they take a back seat in this town to the Rangers, to the Cowboys. The Cowboys dominate all the headlines down here, but this is a great ballpark. I think that their fan base loved that baseball team, and they had an amazing run in the playoffs and finished it off with a win here. And, yep, this was game 1 since that game back in November.
It sounded like on the broadcast there were quite a few Nebraska fans there.
Sure were. A lot of parents are down here, but there's a lot of Huskers alums in the North Texas area. They were out. I think we'll even have more tomorrow and Sunday over the weekend that'll be down here. And I think some fans from Nebraska came down knowing they could come and not sit in freezing weather and sit here in the indoors of Globe Life Field. And I would say we were close to 1,000 Husker fans back behind the dugout. I've also seen an awful lot of Tennessee fans here. They play later tonight. We don't play them down here, but they're ranked in the top 5, and the Volunteers, a lot like Husker fans, they love their Volunteers, and they're going to be a lot of their fans here as well. And I would assume Oklahoma will be well represented, and Texas Tech certainly loves baseball as well. I think you'll see a lot of Red Raider fans in the building later today.
Yeah, they travel, and they're mean. They're going to be loud. Speaking of Texas Tech, that's who the Huskers got tomorrow, and I'm sure you'll be able to know more leading into the pregame. But what can we maybe expect out of that matchup?
Well, they're really good. They can really swing it. Will Walsh is going to get the start for Nebraska. Will was really good at times last year for Nebraska. Had a great start, complete game in the Big Ten tournament up in Omaha that last week of the season for Nebraska. It'll be a big challenge for him. Tech, I'm kind of hoping goes like extra innings tonight against Tennessee and has a slugfest, and maybe they'll be a little sleepy. But that's a really high-quality team that Nebraska will face tomorrow. And then certainly Oklahoma on Sunday. The Sooners are just a year and a half removed from making that magical run in Omaha where they made the College World Series Championship Series and got beat by Ole Miss. So if you had to rank them, you probably thought this would be the least intimidating team that Nebraska would play in Bader, and the 2 big ones are yet to come here this weekend.
Certainly, I mean, you never know, and a lot can happen, but this could be potentially good on the resume moving forward later on down the line, right?
No question. You come down here to play 3 Big 12 teams. The Big 12 is one of the better baseball conferences in the country. Just playing them and lining them up, you certainly get kind of bonus points for doing that. Now, none of these are true road wins, which kind of spin you a little bit more. They're neutral site games, but I think that's why you play good teams. You want to make sure that your RPI is in pretty good shape so that if you have a good year, you can benefit from that and get picked on Selection Monday. Last year Nebraska went out to San Diego and got roughed up out there, and then that team didn't end up having as good a year as I think the coaches thought they would when they put it on the schedule. You play these 3 teams, at least a couple of them are going to have good years.
Okay, well, I think it was right in the 9th inning. You know, there's a track and field meet going on, and Ed Foley was out there and posted a picture on his social media, so I'm not sure if you saw it. But in one of the heats on the 60 meters, the Huskers go 1, 2, 3, Jalen Lloyd, Jeremiah Charles, and Bryce Turner.
Wow.
How about that?
Was Lloyd first?
Lloyd was first, and then, you know, that was just the third heat out of 7, I believe, 6 or 7. Jalen Lloyd ended up finishing 3rd place overall, but I thought that was pretty cool to see 1, 2, 3 of those football guys there in that heat.
That's great. This is kind of a tune-up meet for the Huskers because the Big Ten indoors next week, and so I'm not sure what kind of competition is in town for this week, but that's so cool for those guys to do that. And, you know, Matt Rural and I, we talked about it. You know, in his press conference, he got asked about these guys doing other sports. He goes, I love it. I love when our guys go compete in anything. And I think they've had a blast watching Nash wrestle. And I think that, you know, part of the lure for some of these guys, particularly Bryce Turner, to come to Nebraska is we're going to let you run some track as well, which he loved doing and was so good at it at the high school level. But again, I think tip of the cap that Matt Rural allows these guys to do that type of thing. There's a lot of coaches in the sport of football who don't want their guys doing something else. So I think it's great that he allows them to do it, and I think that's fantastic that they're having some success.
Yeah, and that was one of the things this track staff did as soon as Matt Rural was hired, because, you know, Baylor track and field is known, and Coach Rural let the guys run track at Baylor, and so they were just giddy knowing that there are guys that do want to do both. And, you know, I saw Jalen Lloyd the other day at that Husker women's event, and I asked him how it was going. Boy, he was grinning. You can just tell these guys, you know, yeah, they love football, but they also love track, and that's in his blood too. And the only thing I don't know for sure, and I'd have to do maybe some more digging on this, is that I know he's really good at long jump and triple jump, so I'm not sure if he's just doing the sprints or if he's going to try to do more as his career unfolds, or what his kind of future holds there on track. But he's very, very talented on the track too. You're talking about maybe a potential Olympian.
Absolutely. Charles, I think, did the triple jump at a meet 2 weeks ago, I think. I'd have to look that and double check that. But yeah, those kids are really athletic, and that's what Matt Rural and that staff, they like to find good athletes who play football, and then they figure, okay, we can find a role for him, use that athletic ability to be an advantage for us in the sport of football. So that's a really cool thing, and what a big weekend, right? I wrapped up the broadcast talking about all the things we've got going on in the network with softball playing down in Las Cruces, and then both basketball teams play tomorrow. It's a fun weekend. Fun time of year with all this stuff happening.
Yeah, I love this time when it's just, I should speak for myself because there's always stuff on, but the guys here, boy, they had multiple things going on here in the studio when I walked in. But it's super fun to be able to kind of follow all the Huskers. You mentioned the 2 basketball games, 2 big ones tomorrow. The Husker women need to take care of business on the road and at Purdue. Bounce back from the Ohio State win, and then men got to keep protecting home court and you know, just take care of business tomorrow, and then we'll talk about finding a way to win on the road.
Yeah, let's don't take for granted that you're going to win at home. You still got to show up and play, and all of a sudden Penn State, Rutgers, Minnesota, those are the remaining home games for the men. All 3 of those teams are playing pretty well, and you're right on the women. They need to flush the taste of that bad one the other night against Ohio State out and go get a road win. And that the margin the other night is what bothered me, I think, so much, because it did hurt the net. The net certainly takes an advantage, the margin of victory or margin of loss. So they dropped some spots in the net because of that loss. So they need to bounce back. And I can't wait. I'm not sure I'm going to get to watch much of it, but I can't wait for Sunday's wrestling duel with Nebraska and Penn State. There's number 1 against number 3. That should be unbelievable at State College on Sunday.
Yeah, and you got to think the guys are pretty fired up. They didn't put their best duel together against Iowa, but certainly I think, you know, just getting a sense talking to these guys when they come in the studio that they feel like they can, you know, go match up with Penn State. And I know that's a big task, but that's the kind of confidence you want to have in your guys when they're going to face a team like and have the opportunity at Penn State. But, you know, a guy like Ridge Lovett isn't scared. Some of these other guys that are super experienced in these kinds of duels and matchups, that they're going to believe going that they can maybe do something up there at Penn State.
And you and I have both watched some of the duels from that atmosphere for wrestling there is unbelievable. Iowa's right there with it, but Nebraska didn't wrestle at Iowa this year, so this will be their most intimidating road meet of the year. And I think they will rise to the occasion. I think there's enough veteran guys on there, including Silas Allred and Lenny Pinto, who have been in that kind of arena before. But that should be just a blast on Sunday. So just a lot of fun stuff for the weekend and for Husker fans to be following.
Okay, we talk baseball, we talk track, we talk football, we talk men's and women's basketball, wrestling. What did we miss?
I think we covered the gamut, didn't we?
We'll hear more from softball coming up here. Hopefully we'll be able to check in with Nate Rohr as Husker softball in action down in Las Cruces. But hey, it's that time of the year. We gotta embrace it.
Yeah, good stuff. We've got a big group of advertisers. Some of our sponsors are down here at the tournament for the weekend, so I'm headed out to dinner with some of those great folks. Some folks from our good friends at Acres are down here, and even John Henry's Heating and Plumbing. They've got some folks here, so looking forward to having some dinner with our great clients who certainly help us put on these products for everybody day in and day out.
Well, have fun. A great call today. We'll look forward to hearing you in bed coming up tomorrow. 2:30 pregame, 3 o'clock first pitch as the Huskers take on Texas Tech in Game 2. Look to go 2-0 to start the season.
You bet. We'll see you on Monday.
That is Greg Sharpe for us down in Arlington. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with more on Sports Nightly coming up.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Are you ready? It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate, America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Ground beef is only $2.99 a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And $2.99 a pound is not just the price today or this week, it's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for ground beef every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Take your car buying experience to new heights with Woodhouse Mazda. Shop our full lineup of luxurious CUVs that will transform the way you travel, like the spacious and sophisticated Mazda CX-90 or the sleek and sporty Mazda CX-5. Plus, receive 0% APR for 60 months on select models of the 2024 Mazda CX-50 with approved credit, tax, title, license extra when financed through Mazda Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Excludes SE and PF models. $500 regional conquest bonus cash for qualifying competitive vehicle owners. Offer expires February 29, 2024. See dealer for details.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Knottle Companies is proud to support Husker athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Knottle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Knottle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
Are you ready? It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network broadcast center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Well, we've got week 3 of Husker Women's Wednesday. Each Wednesday, we feature a female student athlete or employee, staff, coach here at the University of Nebraska. And this week, I had a chance to chat with a star in the pool for the Huskers, Gena Jorgenson, a sophomore out of Aberdeen, South Dakota. Her name is already at the top of 4 different records in the Husker Swim and Dive record books. So this week, this is who we feature for Husker Women's Wednesday. Out of Aberdeen, South Dakota, how did you even get into swimming up there in South Dakota?
So my mom and my grandma both were swimmers. My grandma was a swim coach, kind of got my mom into it, and then my mom threw me and my siblings into the pool as little as we could, so that's where I started.
How did it develop for you into becoming, hey, something that being thrown into the pool to like, I can go to college for this?
Honestly, I didn't really think college was going to be my end goal until maybe my freshman year of high school. Like a little bit later, some people know I'm for sure going to go. Even into my sophomore year, I was like, yeah, I want to go, but I don't care where I go. I just want to have fun with it. But yeah, probably beginning of high school was when I knew.
What's the recruiting process? I mean, you said you just emailed a bunch of schools, but for someone that wants to get into swimming and diving at the collegiate level, what's that recruiting process like?
So definitely emails, questionnaires, calling, texting coaches. It was basically I started the conversation before they could talk to me, and if they wanted to see me and I didn't reach out, they would contact me as well.
So, like, do they go scout? Like, you know, you talk about in other sports, you go scouting events and stuff. Do they come to meets and watch you swim, or how does that work?
Yeah, so, like, the big meets, like junior nationals, you tend to see coaches from all over the country there, and which is super nice because those people who do make those meets do get the opportunity to kind of show what they have. So that I went to a couple of those meets, and then Futures, which is a smaller meet, but it's still a big regional meet. They often send coaches to those. So
how many high school state titles do you have?
Ooh, I don't know off the top of my head. I think
like at least 15, right?
Off the top, yeah, maybe. See, South Dakota's different. We didn't have high school swimming. We're the only state that doesn't have high school swimming, so
really?
I only ever did club.
Wow.
Yeah, and college is very similar to high school, so that was a little bit of a change for me, but yeah.
So how was that different then?
It's definitely more team-oriented, college and high school, than club is. I had a very, like close club team that I definitely benefited from, but you don't get that you're only here for the team, really. Like, you'll do whatever you want for the team. Other people will do things for themselves, but yeah.
So what was that like then when you were first part of the team atmosphere, when you're used to it being the other way?
I loved it. Like, I definitely love interacting with everyone, and like, everyone has your back, everyone's cheering for you. That was the best part of it.
So then you get here as a freshman and you start breaking records immediately. What went into your freshman year? How were you so ready to come in and compete at such a high level?
I definitely didn't expect the results that I would have gotten out of freshman year. But I think having just the support system, I don't know if my training was necessarily, like, it's just so different from what I have here. And that might have been what kind of made me prepared for college. But yeah.
So then tell us about all the events that you do, because you have 4 different records. They're already all over the record books, but you were telling me there's a limit to how many you can how many events you can swim. So, but tell us all the events that you compete in.
So my main events are the distance events. So for like conference, I have my 3 events picked. They're out. So it's the mile, which is 66 lengths, and then the 500, which is 20, and then the 4 IM, which is 16, but it's all the strokes. And then I will swim whatever I need to, whatever the coaches want me to at dual meets. So
66 laps. What are you thinking about?
Honestly, nothing much. Like, I'll sing, I'll do math, I'll do whatever to get me through that 66.
Do you count? Like, I mean, are you counting every lap, or how does that work?
So I used to not. I used to just let them count or do it, but I've had some, in the past, I've had some troubles with that, so I've started to count, and then that's where the math comes from. I will just figure out where I am.
So what is it about, you know, the distance and that 1,000 freestyle that you just broke this season that makes you so good at it, that you are such a competitor at it?
I think why I'm good at it is based off my training. Like, we do miles of swimming a day. Like, I would say probably 5-6 miles a day of just straight swimming. That's definitely gotten me where I need to be.
Is there something in when you go back, like, you know, you talk about other sports, you go back and watch film and maybe see some technique things too. Is that part of it as well, the process of kind of developing as you go? Yes, like technique, from the beginning of the season, I'm starting to work on new things every day, starting to incorporate things that I'm definitely weaker at. So that's also gotten me a lot farther. So you were telling me, though, what you're best at is probably not even your favorite stroke. Yeah. Tell us about that. I love swimming backstroke. Like, I don't know if it's because I can breathe the whole time or what, but I love the 200 backstroke. That's an unpopular opinion, but I love the 2-back. Why? Why is that an unpopular opinion? It hurts. It hurts your legs a lot. So do you like the medley too? Yeah, I love swimming the 4 IM. Like, I like changing it up. Like, freestyle, it's fun and all, but being able to swim every single stroke, it kind of just gets you, I don't know, a feel for the water differently. And then, like, training-wise, it also gets me away from just swimming freestyle, and it mixes it up, makes it a little bit more fun. How fun is it to be a part of the relay teams? Because they're like so fun to watch. Yes, the relays are the best. Like, I'm not a sprinter, sadly, which most sprinters are on more relays than I am. I normally get 1 relay in there, but being part of a team and like sharing that excitement with 4 or 3 other girls, so much fun. So did you play other sports growing up, or was it just swimming? I did do other sports. I did basketball, volleyball, dancing, soccer, kind of the whole mix until probably about middle school, where I had to start choosing because time. Yeah. So what's the number 1 sport did you like growing up outside of swim? I think I just stayed in soccer the longest. Yeah. Yeah. So when you talk about what you're doing and becoming good at it, it takes a lot of time, a lot of training. Mm-hmm. How do you balance that? I mean, because I got to imagine there are days that it is not fun, but you have to keep pushing yourself. Yeah. I think most of the time when it's not fun, you have to kind of just look at other things, maybe put your mind in a different place. But other than that, it's easier. It's gotten easier as like I've gone through college to like balance everything, because
I like to stick to a schedule.
So when you break these records, what does it mean to you to have your name at the top of the Nebraska swim and dive record books?
Honestly, I would never have imagined myself there anytime or even at this point, but I'm incredibly honored. Like, that's super cool to have those records. A lot of them are like 40 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you have a feeling like, okay, I've got a really good swim going?
Yes and no. It depends. Like, I could have a swim that feels like I'm not trying, but I'm like, I know this is going to be a great time. Or there's swims that are like, ooh, I'm struggling, but then I touch the wall and it's also a good time. Or I'm feeling super good and it's not a good time. So it kind of just depends on the day.
So now that you have the records, do you continue now? Do you want to beat yourself?
Yes. What I want to do is basically get a best time. Like, every time I hit the water, I want to try to go faster than my personal times.
Again, that was Gena Jorgenson with Huskers swimming and diving. Next up for the team, they will head to the Big Ten Championships this coming week, the 21st to the 24th in West Lafayette, Indiana, and that conversation was a part of our Husker Women's Wednesday powered by Emeritus. Emeritus is proud to power Husker Women's Wednesday and all of Husker Women's athletics. She is impressive, should be an NCAA qualifier too. She was a has an Olympic trials qualifying time as well. So big things to come for Gena Jorgenson, and you can listen to that full episode out now on our podcast platforms. Pretty funny. Crypto King in the chat said 66 laps. What did he say? 66 laps. 6 miles a day of swimming. No way. She just said they swim 6 miles a day. I'm going to die just thinking about that. LOL. Yes, that is impressive, no doubt. All right, we're going to step aside for our final break here of hour number one. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Woodhouse Nissan makes shopping for your next vehicle simple. Browse our inventory, apply for financing, and more from the comfort of your own home. Right now, receive 0% APR for 36 months or 1.9% APR for 60 months on the 2023 Nissan Rogue SV. With approved credit, tax, title, license extra, $299 doc fee due at signing. When financed through NMAX/Infinity LT. Discounted price based on sale price of $31,620. VIN number PW351338. Offer expires 2/29/24. See dealer for details.
Knottle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Knottle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Knottle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate, America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
You could win a 2024 Porsche Macan from Porsche Omaha this season. 4 lucky Husker fans will have a chance to win a 2024 Porsche Macan if they make a full court putt at halftime at one of 4 home men's basketball games this season. For more information and the official rules, go to www.huskers.com/putt. Cole, we still don't have a winner of that deal. I think we got to figure out a way to get you signed up for it.
There's no way I'd make you've seen it, right? You've seen how ridiculous the task is?
Yeah, but I have seen somebody make it, just not inside PBA.
So it is, and it's the same setup across all,
I think so.
All that do it?
Unless, like, maybe some courts, I don't know, tilt a little bit.
It's funny. I hear KP and Jake during our men's broadcast when we're in breaks and they're doing that. Jake is always like, yeah, he's kind of like armchair quarterback and the whole thing. He's like, I could do that, no problem.
Yeah, he thinks he's got the winning recipe to how to knock it down. I don't know. We said it on the air one time. I don't think people took notes, but he thinks he's got it down of what it takes to knock it in.
Right.
I feel like at some point they should just let him try it, not win it, because I don't think he can, because we were not qualified. We can't be a part of it. But after whoever it is, tries it, let Jake get up there and see if he can do any better. Like, just to see if it's doable.
Just to humble him, really.
Hey, did you see or hear any about the speed painter over the weekend?
I did not.
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, she came in and performed. I think she's the first female champion speed painter, and she started and she performed at halftime of both the men's and women's games. And when she started at the men's game, I'm like, what is she making? There's no way this is going to be done. And then she turns it and flips it up, and it's Herbie. And she did it in like a matter of 4 or 5 minutes. It was really cool.
She's doing them upside down? She
did it upside down and then turned it so it kind of looked funky. And then all of a sudden you started to see it kind of come together. When she flipped it over, it was Herbie.
Wow.
So they said, apparently I said on the TV broadcast that it was going in Trev's office. I don't know. So there's 2 of those pretty cool paintings that I don't know where they ended up, but the second day she made like Herbie in his basketball uniform, but it's pretty cool. Some of those halftime acts are really cool, and some of them I'm like, maybe this is the time to go to the restroom, but I actually enjoyed that one all right. Okay, so we have an update on softball. Currently tied 1-1 heading into the bottom of the second.
Bottom of the second, 1-1. Yep.
So New Mexico State took the lead in the first inning, solo home run, and then Huskers got some things going, had the bases loaded, ended up just getting 1 run out of it, but it is tied heading into the bottom of the second. Correct?
Yes, that is right.
Okay, so we will keep following along with that. Maybe give an update here in hour number 2. Maybe check in with Nate. But Huskers looking to bounce back after they fall in game number 1 here in New Mexico, 3-0 over shutout. So good to see the Huskers get on the board there. All right, we've got a full another hour coming up for you here on this Friday night edition of Sports Nightly. Coming up next, you're going to hear a fun conversation with Bekka and Josiah Allick, just a treat. And then we're also going to preview the big basketball matchups coming up this weekend with Matt Coatney and Kent Pavelka for Husker women's basketball and Husker men's basketball. So keep it here. Hour number 2 of Sports Nightly rolls on, coming up right after this.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
That's the best way I could describe how it felt for me when I would walk out of either the casino or the Keno parlor, is that you just felt that wave of heat, that wave of oppression kind of hit you, that wave of dread.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
Right away, you would always know that that drive home would be the worst moments of why. Why did I do this again? Why can't I stop this?
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.com.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, Chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Good evening, I'm Henry Goodwin, and our sports sticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Husker baseball kicked off their season today with a 4-1 win against Baylor down at the Shriners Children's College Showdown at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Dylan Carey led the Huskers at the plate, going 2 for 4 with 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. Caden Brumbaugh went 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored, while Garrett Anglim added a solo home run. The Huskers play 2 more games in Arlington tomorrow against number 21 Texas Tech before playing Oklahoma on Sunday. In Husker bowling news, the team bested the number 1 team Jacksonville State and the number 2 team Youngstown State at the Mid-Winter Invitational. In women's basketball news, last night history was made as Caitlin Clark broke the all-time NCAA women's basketball scoring record. Not only did she break the record, she broke it by scoring the first 8 points for Iowa after only 3 minutes of regulation. She also finished the night with a career-high 49 points in the win over Michigan. In PGA Tour news, Tiger Woods withdrew from competition after experiencing issues with his back during play. Right now, the top 5 scores in the tournament are Patrick Cantley at 12 under, Luke List, Jason Day, and Mackenzie Hughes are all tied for second at 8 under par, and Corey Connors rounds out the top 5 at 7 under. Our sports sticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now get ready for Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Goes off the bounce, goes behind your back, works foul line, Potts for 3, top of the key. You betcha! Natalie Potts, the Big Ten Freshman of the Week with a triple.
Getting a hand on it was Juwan Gary. Wilcher scoops it up now to Williams across the timeline. Williams to the trailing Wilcher, fumbled it, got it back. Drives to the baseline, 15-footer up. Got it! We got a tie ball game!
8 on the shot clock, Darian White, right wing, needs help. High lob underneath, Markowski. Gets a double team, kicks to the deep left corner. Moriarty with 2, with 1. Her 3-pointer, it's back rim, it goes in! You betcha! Kendall Moriarty with a triple.
Huge shot. The pump fake by Mast. Step back 3 on the way. Got it! Holy smokes! Holy cow! The Flying Dutchman with a big 3 to tie it at 65.
Shelley throws down low. Markowski kicks it out to Jazz, knocked away by Marshall. 7 to shoot, 6 to shoot. Shelley for 3. You betcha! Huskers take their first lead of the game with 30 seconds left. You betcha! Huskers take the lead over second-ranked Iowa.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back, hour number 2 of Sports Nightly on this Friday night edition. I'm Jessica Coody, and we welcome you back inside our Huskers Radio Network broadcast center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Cole, speaking of Acres, have you been out to the new spot that they opened up over in what's it over there?
Is it near I-80? Is it just off of I-80?
I'm gonna have to look it up.
In North Lincoln, or
yeah, it's
Northwest?
in North Lincoln. It's over there across from Toast.
I have not, but I've heard it's beautiful.
I've heard it's great, but I have not been. Heard it's really good food. I will have to try it and let you guys know, but I've heard it's awesome. Okay, so we have a really fun interview to get to here in hour number 1. Josiah and Rebekka Allick, siblings. Of course, everybody knows the story. Josiah transfers back, is able to spend his last year here. And what was cool and fascinating about kind of getting to know their backstory is that they weren't always close. And so they've kind of had a second chance of being a brother, sister. They lived together, but just a really, really neat relationship. It's been fun to see how Josiah was in the stands and was like the #1 fan and cheerleader of the Husker volleyball team. And now Rebekka's in the stands cheering on Josiah and Husker men's basketball. So recently had a chance to sit down and do a lengthy conversation with the two of them together in studio. It was a lot of fun. So here's a part of my Corn Huskers conversation presented by Teammates with Rebekka and Josiah Allick. What would be each of your perspective of kind of each other's athletic career growing up? I'd be interested to hear kind of what it was like for you to follow his career and what it was like for you to follow her career. Josiah, you want to start on this one?
Well, from my perspective, I mean, it was kind of amazing just because, you know, for her, she had such a high work ethic at such a young age that I was kind of jealous. Because for me, like, it was like I always loved sports. Like, I loved competing, I loved doing all that, but I didn't really understand the kind of actual time and energy you had to invest to really separate yourself. Like, every time I played, like, you know, I gave it everything I had. But, you know, when I wasn't able to, you know, find anybody to, you know, play pickup with, or, you know, 21 or play football or whatever it may be, you know, I just found other things to keep myself busy, whether that was, you know, playing video games or just going and hanging out with friends or whatever. And it wasn't until I really got into high school that I really started working overtime and kind of realized, you know, because even though I wasn't super athletically gifted, like growing up, like I was definitely a late bloomer, and I was young for my grade. So like once I got to high school, I kind of got to see like, oh, okay, like there's some pretty significant levels to to this thing. And, you know, it's not the same as just, you know, being the best player at your middle school. It's like now this opens up a whole new world. And then after really not having any success my freshman year, and thinking, all right, you know, by next year it'll get turned around. And then like, I was like, all right, well now I'm really not going anywhere. And then I kind of like went all in, you know, gave it everything I had, and then tried to like almost work from behind. But with her, you know, I remember her and her sister really just started, or her and I don't know. Yeah.
I noticed that. I was like, what?
Yeah, I was speaking from like second person here. But, yeah, you know, they started like, you know, playing club and really training even in middle school and like doing things at their own at the house. And I remember just being like, dang, you know, I wish I would have got started that early and, you know, just tried to imagine like where I might have been at. But it was just really incredible just because you don't see a lot of athletes that kind of have that level of commitment that early on their own. Like, yeah, there's some kids that, you know, they get forced to, you know, like their kids, like their parents drag them to practice, or, you know, especially like with like baseball or volleyball or softball or things like that, you know, their parents are like kind of forcing them to go do these lessons, try to be great, whatever it may be. But with her, she was the one pulling the strings and making it happen for herself. And so, especially, you know, as a female athlete, I just had never really seen very many girls take that much pride in their craft from such a young age. And so I kind of knew then, like I was like, oh, she's gonna have a real chance to do something special. And so I just kind of, to see it all pan out, you know, like when she got offered by Nebraska, or I don't know how it works exactly, but like once I knew that she was like going to Nebraska in like 8th grade, then it was kind of like, oh man, you know, I'm still searching for my first offer. And, you know, you got a younger sister in 8th grade that's already committed to, you know, basically the pinnacle of the sport, or the pinnacle of the school, like in her sport. And, you know, it's kind of one of those things where, you know, it's like you have that own self-motivation to better yourself, but then it's also a little bit of, you know, that internal sibling, you know, competition of, you know, you don't want to be shown up, but at the same time, you're like also kind of cheering for them because you are on the same team. There's also like you want to be the best on your team.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, it was always kind of funky just, you know, having her be younger than me, but also realizing those kind of lessons and necessities in order to be great younger than me.
Love that perspective. What about for you? What was it kind of like watching his athletic journey to where he got him today?
I had a really hard time understanding why they weren't giving him a chance. I think as a younger sibling, you always assume your siblings are the best one out there. And you're like, oh, starting. I mean, he's going crazy. And same thing even with my older sister when she was pursuing volleyball. And I couldn't understand it. I was like, he does way more than them. He's a better teammate. He actually celebrates everyone. He doesn't leave anybody out. I presume you would train with the kid that no one else wanted to train with because you figured he was alone. And like, yeah, he's like, you know, this hour I might not get a lot out of it, but I know he will. I presume you would probably do that. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I never understood. I was like, when are they going to let the good guys win? And so I remember one time in particular, the head coach at the time, what was his name at North Star?
Katroki.
Katroki. We were joking because Josiah was doing a score, and I went to hang out with Josiah and be around his older friends. I was like, this is so fun. So I sat with him at the scoreboard, and you were upset about wanting to score, like you didn't want to do it. And I tried to crack jokes with the head coach. I was like, I'm going to get him an in with the varsity head coach. I'm like, this is going to be great. I cracked a joke about him complaining, and it did not go over well. He goes, why the hell did you just say that? He was like, now he thinks I don't want to be here. Now he thinks I don't want to. I'm like, that was the varsity. I was like, oh. I didn't think about that. But it's because he cared. Like, he was cut short so many times, and so to see him have even just a small interaction, it's like the weight of doing little things, it was weighing on him. And it was like, that was something that I think I'm always going to remember, because it's like I didn't say anything to the head coach after that. Everything, I always said great things about Josiah. If anything, I was always doing too much. I'm like, hey, Josiah just got done running like 2 miles last night. Just thought you looked. And he did it backwards and all this other stupid stuff. But yeah, I also remember him coming home after club. And I was like, hey, like, where's everybody? Like, we'd be eating dinner. And I was like, yo, where's Josiah? And be like, oh, Mom's like, he's on a run. And I was like, Josiah runs? And you would come in and like, there'd be like sweat, like from your knees and everything. And you would like take off your beats. And then you wouldn't come eat. I remember you actually went into the garage and you grabbed a basketball and a tennis ball. And then when we would be watching TV, and I would be sitting near the garage, it was at 5350 or 5340, was it 40?
Yeah.
You could hear the pounding in the garage. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, like this is it. Like, this is, and this might be TMI, but like didn't want a girlfriend. I could not understand that. Because even then, it wasn't that he couldn't appreciate a girlfriend. It's just that he was aware of like the time and commitment it takes to really pursue a woman. And it's like, I'm not going to give that to her right now. Like, I'm going to give it to my craft. And prior to that, I was like, man, like, Josiah can't, he's not going to get any girls. Like, he's never going to get, and I was like, I just didn't understand. Like, my commitment just looked a lot different. And it's like, he was making up for lost time. Like, what I now learn. And it was like, I mean, it's nuts. And so I remember when he did have this one girlfriend in high school, I was like, you need to realize how much time he's giving to you right now, because it was just unprecedented. I was like, I never thought I'd see the day that he was actually, I didn't think he was gonna have a girlfriend until college. So when he ended up having one his junior year, I was like, wow, like maybe he's kind of like senior year?
Yeah.
Oh, like he was actually kind of like, not that he was like going back on the grind, but he was like not drowning himself in basketball, for lack of better terms. It was like, oh, like, yeah, so there was like a couple memories I have of just the kind of commitment he's had, and to like actually see him here today and just to see him celebrated. I actually remember this too. We were in high school and everyone's like, wow, your brother's so good. And I used to say, I was sick of it. I was like, he's always been good. They never celebrated him. And it drove me crazy. I was like, your brother works so hard. I was like, he's been working hard. I was like, you guys just never celebrated him. And Mom was the same way. Mom would get so snappy. She'd be like, my son has always gave his best effort. But she had to watch herself, because it's like, that gets back to coach. But she just was like, you know, we've always been in each other's corner. Like, we want to see each other succeed, especially when you're doing all the right things.
You know, it's been well documented, Josiah, that you didn't want to come back because the hometown, it had to be the right fit for you. But then once you kind of settle on that decision, and you've been able to share this year with her, and we saw you in the stands going crazy in volleyball games, and now we're seeing Bekka in the stands supporting you. What has it been like to be able to share this year together? And you know, it's one thing to ask you about coming back and sharing it with her before, but now that you have been able to go through it, what has it been like to kind of go through this year with him and be able to be each other's supporters throughout this entire season?
Yeah. I was just talking with BTN about it, how like my typical answer was usually like, oh, it's so cool. Someone that's been like inspiring me to like not take stuff for granted and like make hard decisions, and like discipline is something that you should be proud of. It's not something that's like, oh, I have to do this. It kind of changed, and it was like kind of like young me and like young you. It was like, wow, this is kind of like a full circle moment. It's like it's like we're back in high school, and it's like we're back to, I don't know, it's I cannot find the right word. And it's just like, wow, like this is actually kind of really cool. And it's just like I'm just out here doing my thing with my family, and it's like, this guy could be doing tennis right now. I could be doing anything, and it's like he's going to support me with that. And so it's just been really cool. It's like everyone sees like grown woman with muscles and hair done and like, oh, jersey, and everyone sees grown man that's like flexing his muscles and doing scary things. But like I don't see that when I see him play. Like I just see Joe, I see Josiah, I see gamer, I see funny guy, I see weird guy, I see passionate guy, I see the same kid that's always wanted these things for himself, has had the same friends since middle school, always crack jokes, weird fashion, like that's the guy I see playing. And so it's like, it's just really cool that like I imagine that's the way he sees me too. It's just like, yeah, people kind of put us on this pedestal, but it's like in reality it's just like we're just each other's siblings. Like I'm a sister, I'm a daughter. And so that's kind of like where my view of him has been like changing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the biggest thing is just kind of like how rewarding it is to almost have like a second chance at like being an older brother again. Just because obviously, you know, when we were growing up, like I would go to like some of the games almost just because like my mom would make me, and it was like, you know, like, hey, Joe, like, you know, you haven't been to one, you need to go to one. I'm like, all right. You know, I'll kind of like drag myself along, but you know, after being away, like after leaving the house, when you kind of have that time apart, you really get to do a lot of just reflection on like what really matters, and just kind of all the mistakes and missed opportunities you had to really just share that time and, I mean, love with your family, and you just see just how like misconstrued your view of reality was, you know, because you just think like everything's always from like the perspective of you. You never really put yourself in their shoes. And, you know, I always prided myself on being like a really like intuitive person that can kind of, you know, see through, you know, read between the lines and all that stuff. But that was one area like that I just completely missed the mark on growing up, was just how big of a role I could have played in being like a better older brother to her and my other younger sister and younger brother. I mean, and just being a younger brother as well, like how much more supportive I could have been. And so to be able to have this year to kind of almost make up for it a little bit and be that kind of supportive, you know, big brother, but also just, you know, be their biggest fan like I should have been from the beginning, is something that I'm really grateful for. And so that's for me like the most redeeming part of it, is I just, because there's usually after you leave the house, like there's not a lot of opportunities where you get to actually spend this much time around your siblings. You know, usually it's kind of that one shot, and you hope, you know, parents kind of hope that it turns out all right, but then it's kind of just, you know, maybe next time you visit town, you get to talk to them, and then you kind of repair things. And so this much time just being in the same area, being able to share these many experiences together and getting to cheer her on has been just incredible for, you know, patching up the soul a little bit.
What a great, fascinating, just, you know, perspective answer to that question. Both Rebekka and Josiah are two of the best interviews on campus, and you can just kind of ask Josiah, and he loves to talk and give his perspective, but just such a fun interview. And that was only a portion of it. The full interview is out now on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel. You can listen to the full episode out now. And for those on our YouTube chat that were asking, there were some cameras that were wandering around in the background. That's what I was talking about. The Big Ten Network are working on a episode of The Journey with both Rebekka and Josiah. So that'll be coming out soon. As soon as I get more details, I didn't have a for sure date on when that episode was coming out or the place. There's two different things that are being worked on with them and kind of telling their story and their back journey. So as soon as we get details on that, we'll let you guys know, but it should be pretty good. But those are the cameras that were wandering around in the background. They're pros. They didn't notice it at all. They were great. So you can tell those are two people that are very comfortable with talking and being on camera, because they didn't flinch at all with those cameras in the background. So, but what a fun Fun conversation. You can listen to all of it right now. And again, the Cornhusker Conversation is brought to you by Teammates Mentoring. Be there for a student in your local community by going to teammates.org. All right, we're going to break here on Sports Nightly. Coming up next, we're going to check on the softball score. Plus, we're going to preview the upcoming basketball matchups coming up tomorrow with Matt Coatney and Kent Pavelka. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground-truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Central Valley Ag knows the importance of matching your mineral program to local grazing and feeding conditions. That's why CVA Power Minerals are carefully crafted to meet the unique needs of your herd. For a limited time, register for a discount on CVA Power Cow and Power Range minerals and get a branded apparel item with a minimum ton purchase. Visit CVAcoop.com to learn more. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
As a fan, you wear your jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. There's a place for people like you. The Cox Fan Zone. Play NFL Pick'em and Collegiate Pick'em for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card each week, or even a $500 Visa gift card grand prize.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe. Say Fan Zone in your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit cox.com/fanzone. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Maybe your hometown celebrates long-standing Swiss traditions. Cow chip throwing. Or even classic car muscle. Everyone has a hometown, and every hometown has a festival. Cenex wants to hear about yours. That's why we're launching the Hometown Throwdown. Tell us about your fest, and it could win $100,000. Learn more at CenexHometownThrowdown.com. Cenex, powered locally.
It's Ford Truck Month, and we're celebrating 47 years as the best-selling trucks in America with special once-a-year offers on Ford F-Series, including the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. It's time to celebrate America. This is Ford Truck Month. Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on F-150 plus a 5-year 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network broadcast center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. We've got a big day coming up tomorrow for Nebraska men's and women's basketball. Two big matchups. Husker men's basketball at home, Husker women's basketball on the road at Purdue. So for Fred Hoiberg and company, they will be hosting Penn State bright and early, and I got a chance to catch up with both Matt Coatney and Kent Pavelka to preview this Saturday's matchups. We start with KP and asked him, first of all, I had to go back to the Michigan game and how good the Huskers looked there, especially in those first 15 minutes of the first half against the Wolverines.
I think it was. Jake and I were talking about that. I mean, I was really impressed. And I really can't think of 15 minutes, and that first 15 minutes were Michigan, isn't very good right now. But notwithstanding that, I was super impressed, and it's going to take that kind of effort and focus, I think, for these last three at home to win all three of them. Nobody they've got on the schedule is an easy mark, including Penn State on Saturday.
So how needed was this bye week to get a little bit of rest, maybe get the legs underneath them? They had a tough stretch there leading into actually getting a little bit of time this past week.
Are you asking how needed it was for the radio announcer for the basketball players? I mean, it was, there was a stretch there that was brutal. And, we were at at Illinois, got on a plane late, came back home, spent like 18 hours at home, went right back to Illinois to play at Northwestern. And, I think had they stayed there, they might have won that game. This has been like a vacation for me this week. I think the players really needed it. I think that, there's nobody's really done the homework here, I don't think, but I don't think there's another Big Ten team that has had the kind of schedule Nebraska has relative to game after game after game, just 3 and 4 days at the most in between. And then it had the advantage of more time off and no travel. So I think it caught up with them, and they needed this.
One of the things we've seen over the last couple of games is that change for Coach Hoiberg to start with the big lineup and have Josiah, Rink, and Bryce all out on the floor together, and Juwan at that. So what are you seeing out of that lineup? Why has that lineup been good for this team to start?
Well, obviously they can defend with that group, and they're better on the boards. Bryce has got such versatility that, he can help you anywhere, all the way from point guard to playing. I like Jamarcus coming off the bench. I think that he has embraced that. He said so. And he comes off with an energy, along with CJ, that I really like that mix, with Jamarcus coming off the bench. He's played some of his best basketball. So I think it's got some magic.
All right, let's talk about Penn State, and Coach Hoiberg has alluded to this. It's a different kind of matchup, right? What does that entail for the Huskers? What do they have to be ready for with Penn State coming up on Saturday?
Well, they've been really impressive. Now, I understand they've lost their last two games. They lost at Northwestern. Keep in mind, they only lost by 6 points, and 68-62, I think it was. I was really impressed I mean, Nebraska didn't play that competitively against Northwestern at Northwestern. They lost on Wednesday night at home to Michigan State. Michigan State's playing way better than they were when Nebraska. They had won 3 straight, including 2 road games. They're a team that is unlike other teams in the conference. They seem oblivious to the score. I mean, they can get down. They were down double digits in 3 conference games, came back to win. They will play hard, especially defensively, for 40 minutes. I know it's a cliche, but they really will. And they'll get out on the perimeter and pressure you. They don't rebound it as well as the bigger, stronger teams in the conference, but they can turn you over with the best. So Berg will say the keys are going to be, once again, take care of the basketball, but I don't think they'll have the trouble on the boards that the Huskers won't have the trouble on the boards that they have had in games of late.
All right. Well, I think you retweeted someone that told you the teams that we need to be rooting for this weekend. But do you believe that this is an NCAA tournament team? What needs to happen the season's winding down. What do they need to do to make sure to secure that spot?
Well, I mean, I don't know that anybody knows. A lot of it will depend on what, like you said, some of the other teams in contention on the bubble, how they do. I believe they are NCAA tournament worthy. I mean, just on the basis of some of the wins they've had. Who else has beaten 2 top 10 teams? Can you answer that? I don't know if anybody can. But should you be penalized because they were at home? They both were at home. I don't understand. I do understand. They don't. So, but yeah, I think they're definitely an NCAA team. I just hope that it all works out.
All right. Well, 11 a.m. We talked about it. You guys are going to be on the air at 10 a.m. You think Jake can be there on time for you?
I don't know, but would you call me and wake me up?
Not at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. Great stuff, Kent Pavelka. Make sure you get your coffee and all that good stuff ready to go on Saturday morning. Jake and Kent will be on the call for you. 10 a.m. pregame show coming up on Saturday, leading up to the 11 a.m. tip-off with Penn State inside PBA. KP, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Jessica.
We now welcome in the voice of Nebraska women's basketball, Matt Coatney. The Huskers have had quite the week. They knocked off number 2 Iowa on Sunday, then had a tough one at Ohio State. They're preparing to take on Purdue on the road again, 3 o'clock on Saturday. Coatney, thanks for joining us.
Jessica, I love doing this. Great being on with you. Thank you.
Well, you just heard me say it. Before we talk about Iowa, let's talk about the tough matchup at Ohio State. Ohio State arguably is the best team in the Big Ten. You kind of had a feeling that would be a tough task for the Huskers.
Yeah, I did, and a lot of the reason for it has nothing to do with Ohio State. It's just having one day to prepare, and then you're coming off the afterglow of just that great game against Iowa on Super Bowl Sunday. But then you start looking at Ohio State. Their pressure defense is the best I've ever seen in women's college basketball. They're strong, they have length, and they have very, very veteran players. I definitely think they're the best team in the Big Ten. And so you add that all together, being on the road, you only have one day to prepare. I knew it was going to be a very, very tough matchup for Nebraska, and it certainly was.
One of the things I had multiple people say to me was that solidifies their spot in the NCAA tournament, given that they take care of business the remainder of this regular season. What's your take on that? How solidified are the Huskers in the NCAA tournament field right now?
Well, you nailed it. As long as they take care of business. And I'll tell you how fragile it is. Back in 2006, Nebraska was 10-1 on Valentine's Day, facing Marcia Sharp and Texas Tech, and they went in the next 7 games, they lost 6 out of 7 and didn't make the NCAA tournament. So I think it's still a little early to say somebody's in the NCAA because the tournament selection committee does look at your last 5 games and then your last 10 games. Nebraska has very winnable games, 2 on the road and 2 at home. And 2 of those games on the road are against teams they've already defeated earlier this year in Purdue and Illinois. They host a Minnesota team that they lost to in Minneapolis, but they're different now with Mara Braun out with the leg injury. And then Northwestern is kind of bringing up the rear with Rutgers at the bottom of the league. But Nebraska lost to Rutgers. So anything can happen. But if Nebraska takes care of business in their final 4 games and goes at least 3-1. I think that win over Iowa was needed, because the loss to Rutgers just 2 weeks ago, I really thought put Nebraska on the wrong side of the bubble. And I think right now they're not on the bubble. The RPI went down to 33 with the loss to Ohio State the other night. Not the RPI, the net evaluation tool. But I think they've got the resume right now. They've got the wins. They're in the conference. I think Nebraska, as long as they don't spit the bit in these last 4 games, they can win, 3 of the 4. Then I don't think they have a lot to do with the conference tournament, because if Nebraska does that, they're likely going to get a double bye in the Big Ten tournament and be in the quarterfinals as their first-round game. So it solidifies it. They still have some work to do. I would never say anybody's in the NCAA tournament on the middle of February, but I think that certainly pushes them really, really close, just as you said, as long as they take care of business here going down the stretch.
All right, let's talk about Purdue and a team that Nebraska already has beaten here at home. What's that matchup look like? What do the Huskers have to do to secure that win on the road at Purdue?
Purdue is a lot like Fred Hoiberg's team. They are much better at home than on the road. Purdue has not been good on the road, and they showed that at Pinnacle Bank Arena last month when they were here. Purdue has got some very, very good players. Madison Layden is leading the Big Ten in three-point field goal percentage. She's a veteran. Mary Ashley Stevenson is a freshman who, very much like Natalie Potts, has emerged on the scene as a forward, and she is tough to deal with underneath. And then you have Abby Ellis, who is a great three-point shooter working at the guard position. And then Janae Terry is a triple-double waiting to happen, and has had triple-doubles before, and has had great games against Nebraska. So the main problem with the game at Purdue is, just like the game at Ohio State, Nebraska only has really 1 day to prepare for this, because they got back very late after the Ohio State game on Wednesday night. Amy Williams is going to have that male practice team out there. So Purdue's a different animal at home. They don't have a great record, but at home they have caused problems for a lot of really good teams. So Nebraska's got to be ready for them. The number one thing they have to do is control the glass, and Alexis Markowski has just been dominant on the boards this season, leading the Big Ten in rebounding. He's got to make sure that Mary Ashley Stevenson does not go off for a bunch of rebounds, stay out of foul trouble, but hit Purdue early, not get behind. Nebraska got behind at Michigan, got behind at Ohio State, got behind against Iowa. It would be nice if Nebraska could come out, throw that first punch, get a lead, and then protect the lead instead of having to run uphill. It's hard to run uphill on the road. And they're going to be battling fatigue, because this is 2 very tough road games after an emotional home win on Super Bowl Sunday. This is 3 games in a week. Anytime you play 3 games in a week, it's not easy. So those are the things that concern me about the Purdue matchup.
All right, big day coming up tomorrow on the Huskers Radio Network with both hoops coverage, baseball and softball. But Nebraska men's basketball, they'll be on the air, Kent and Jake, starting at 10 a.m. before the 11 a.m. tip. And Matt Coatney, Jeff Grace will be on the air at 2:30 for the pregame show before a 3 o'clock tip. And Cole, you volunteering to be the wake-up call for Kent tomorrow?
At what time? 6 a.m.? Something like 5 a.m., 4 a.m.?
Well, he asked me. I was
No
like,
thanks.
I'm not doing it. You can ask Cole to do it. He's your producer.
Even, me getting here, I don't know what time, 8:15, 8:30, that's
It's pretty early for you.
pushing it. We're a nightly talk show, and so that
You
that
and I
comes with
both.
the-
We're night owls. We're not the early
Right.
people.
Right.
What's the earliest you ever had to be here for a football game, though?
Oh, with the 7 a.m. When we have an 11 a.m. kick, we're on the air at 7, so I'm here at 5:30, 5:45.
So this is sleeping in for you tomorrow.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, we got to get to a break here on Sports Nightly. Coming up next, we got a update on Nebraska softball. Things going good in Las Cruces, so we will give you an update there. What else? Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow. Provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains Tocogaya, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Just go to newnordicusa.com or visit Walgreens or Amazon to purchase. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at newnordicusa.com.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. From the first bell to final exams, they are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. Throughout the year, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska and Nebraska Athletics will be honoring outstanding educators who help Nebraska's students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/teachers.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
There's no community like a Cenex community, and that's why every Cenex store is so proud to serve theirs by supporting local athletic teams, promoting the arts, and making sure each store is a place its neighbors can find what they need, catch up with their friends, and stay connected. It's also why we give back, helping to make the wonderful places we call home the best they can be. Your local Cenex doesn't just work in your town, it lives there. The store next door, powered locally at Cenex.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Start your next journey with Woodhouse. Our commitment extends beyond just selling cars. We offer an unparalleled car buying experience that allows you to shop and buy all online. Explore an array of new brands, makes, and models, as well as our large selection of pre-owned vehicles. And it's easy to get started today with our streamlined purchasing process online, granting you the freedom to secure your next vehicle anytime, anywhere. Discover a better way to buy with Woodhouse.
I just remember leaving that day feeling absolutely exhausted. I was sick and tired of living that double life.
Mike is a former problem gambler.
The anxiety, the depression is real. You start thinking about the money, where that could have went to. It's never enough. I could win $10 million today, and I'd go back and try to win 20 tomorrow.
Help for problem gambling is free for Nebraskans and their families at lifeafterbet.org. Woodhouse.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You could win a 2024 Porsche Macan from Porsche Omaha this season. 4 lucky Husker fans will have a chance to win a 2024 Porsche Macan if they make a full court putt at halftime at one of 4 men's basketball games this season. For more information and the official rules, go to www.huskers.com/putt. Cole, you've got an update for us on softball. What's going on?
I do have an update. Good news. Thus far in Game 2, they're in the top of the 5th. Nebraska leads 3-1. Sarah Harness is pitching for the Big Red, or the Red Team, as they say on Twitter and whatnot. She got out of a jam in the bottom of the 4th. I think they had runners on the corners and 2 outs, and got out of the inning. So good news thus far.
So Huskers up 3-1, top of the 5th. That's absolutely, it's good news on a lot of fronts, not just that the Huskers are winning, but also that Sarah Harness has been able to go extended innings at this point, because given the loss of Jordy Ball, and then Kaylin Kenny went, pretty long in the first game, to be able to kind of spread the arms out a little bit, I think is really big right now, especially while they try to figure out the pitching staff and how they're going to navigate this thing, being that so many of the plans that they had have been derailed with Jordy Ball.
I agree. Also, with really both of the ball bat sports, these first weekends, these first tournament kind of weekends in the South are kind of a time of finding out who you are, where your players play best, what situations. It's that kind of experimentation.
Yeah, and it's early, right? I mean, and as we've talked a lot about with both Nate and Greg, and leading into this opening weekend and the first 2 weekends, their first chance of playing in warm weather. They've been having to deal with snow and not being able to practice outside a lot too. So just kind of getting a feel for things, as they have the challenge every single year. All right, we got to get to our final break. We went a little bit long, but up next we're going to have our weekly winners and losers. So keep it here on Sports Nightly. We're back to wrap up hour number 2 coming up.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates may apply and may vary by carrier.
Not All Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Not All Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Not All Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
If you're an unconditional, wholehearted, and ever so loyal Husker fan, you deserve to pay like one everywhere you go. With the free FNBO Husker Visa debit card. Fuel your fandom all season and beyond with a debit card just for you. It's free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get your free Husker Visa debit card at any branch or at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse has got you covered for your next car, truck, or SUV. We are committed to making the car buying and owning experience better, thanks to our knowledgeable sales staff and factory-certified technicians. You can discover our large inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles anytime at woodhouse.com, where we have made buying a car easier than ever. Whether you need a family hauling SUV, a car to take you around town, or a hard-working truck, Woodhouse has something for everyone.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Final segment here of Sports Nightly on this Friday night edition. Final segment of the entire week. And so we like to close out the show, as we do every week, with our weekly winners and losers. Cole, who's up first? Are you up first? Or we got Henry up first?
Henry can go first.
All right, Henry, you're up first. Who you got?
Okay, so for my winner, I'll go with Caitlin Clark. Obviously she got the scoring record. Big week for her, and she also had a career high. And then for my loser, this is brand new news, hot off the press. Jordan Spieth is disqualified from the Genesis Open for something that I'm sure 99% of golfers are guilty for. But he was shaving strokes.
What?
Well, one stroke.
So he signed off on a par?
Yeah, he signed off on a par, but he bogeyed after missing a 5-foot putt. And, for your average golfer, you can do that, but I guess they catch on to that stuff.
Right? They kind of track it. All right. Look, as much as heated as the conversation is about Caitlin Clark, it is impressive, and her career and what she's done for women's basketball. You have to applaud that. You have to appreciate it. I have my own issues with how she kind of handles herself on the court sometimes, but for her to get the record, absolutely. You have to applaud that and give it up to her for breaking the record. Cole, who you got?
So I don't have a loser, but I have two winners. I have two winners.
Okay.
The first winner goes to the court of the NBA All-Star Weekend. I don't know if anybody's seen this, but it's on ESPN right now. The court is like a screen. It's very impressive. Don't know how they did it. Very cool. My other winner, Nebraska bowling, for knocking off the #1 and #2 teams today.
Listen, we just got a text. I like it, except for you didn't follow the rules. Art in Los Angeles said, he commented, "I hear Cole on the show today. Why no jokes?" So apparently you need to be one of the losers for Cole not having a joke of the week.
That's fair. I can live with that.
No, my actual loser of the week is Lisa Bluter. I mean, I'm sorry, but just, again, the way that she had kind of handled everything during the press conference on Sunday after the loss and interrupting the Nebraska players. And then she had our press conference saying that Big Ten protocol wasn't followed, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Just really rubbed me the wrong way on how she handled everything. Did not like it. And then my winner, as sad as it is, Jordy Ball, and how she handled the news and how her message that she put out there. She's going to be back in 2025, go Big Red, and how she's going to support the Red team in any way she can. So, it's really sad, but she knows that a lot of eyes are on her, and watching how she's going to handle this adversity, and I know that she knows that, and so she started off on certainly, and we heard Nate Rohr saying that her road to recovery is already on track, and she's already started that, and so big things to come from Jordy Ball. I loved how her message just, again, when you could be really devastated by it. Cole, one last final update with softball. What do we have a score going out?
Oh, I know I only have 20 seconds. 3-1, bottom of the 5th. Nebraska leads.
All right. Thanks so much to Cole. We'll be back sometime at some point with Cole's Joke of the Week. Thanks to Henry. Thank you guys for listening. Have a great weekend. We'll be on the air starting at 10 a.m. tomorrow with men's basketball. Have a great weekend.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground-truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.